possibly a lot of people being a little asleep. So thank you again for waiting, and if feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. Mm. Hi guys. There was some issues with the link for half of the participants, so we shall wait maybe another 5 minutes so that people get the time to join in again. And so I think there was a question in the chat about the workshop being meant for only for women. Like Shruti answered no, so feel free to be a part of the workshop. Yeah. We'll aim to start in another 5 minutes. If that's, I think, keeping the best interest of a lot of the participants in mind, that would be the idea. Like Shruti said, the workshop will be for an hour, considering it's a Sunday and all of you have taken time to be here. Yeah, and we'll take up any and every question as long as time permits us. Today is a Saturday. I my apologies for that. Okay, we shall start now. We thank you again for taking our time and waiting for us. Yeah. With that said, let's just begin our session now. Yeah, good afternoon to all our awesome participants here. Thank you for joining in on today's session. We are super excited to see the participation and would love to have even more workshops with even more participation in the future. Before we start, I will brief you about what we do as an organization before handing over the mic, the virtual mic, if I may, to Shruti, our speaker for the day. Our Ladies is an organization with the core aim of promoting gender diversity in the community of users of the R statistical programming language. And as an initiative, we also have different chapters in different cities. So if you're from a different city and not just from Bangalore, you can always look up for a chapter there. Thank you for joining in on perhaps the first session of many more of the Bangalore chapter of Our Ladies. Did you know that our programming language was preceded by another one called S? Um, with that piece of trivia as an attempt of an icebreaker, our session today will have more such interesting knowledge from the world of R. We'll be starting off today with the basics, where which represents the idea of R, because R at its very core is a programming language that is versatile and very welcoming to all, both experts and beginners. That said, our speaker for today is Shruti Sen Gupta, who is also our co-organizer for the Bangalore chapter. Shruti is a data analyst and researcher with over 8 years of experience in statistical analysis and animal sciences. Currently an analytics consultant and independent researcher, she has worked with institutions like the Indian Institute of Science and the Wildlife Institute of India, applying R to real-world ecological and biological challenges. We are so excited to have her with us this afternoon, and with that, over to you, Shruti.
Thank you, May, for introducing me to the participants. I'm very happy and proud to be a part of this Our Ladies Bangalore chapter. And without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible to conduct this workshop. So I'm with that. Let me just share the presentation. So today I'm just going to give you very basics like so how to start. So basically this will be like a, very introduction, very introductory class where I will just show you how what is R, how to like think of it as a foundation course. From here you have to like build up eventually because it's a R is an open source software, so open source language, so you can like go anywhere, how much deep you want you can go in. Okay, so let me just share. Yes, you can see my screen.
Yes, Shruti.
Yeah, all right, I'll just close my video then and just
Shruti, there's a question of will the PPT be sent to the participants? And
yes,
I'm
yeah, I
okay.
can
Yeah.
send the PPT. Yeah. So yeah, so May has already introduced you to the Our Ladies. So Our Ladies is actually a global organization. So you have Our Ladies chapters not only in India, but you have Our Ladies in other countries as well. Actually, it's there in the whole world. Like there are different multiple cities. So it started in US and then it spread across the globe. So okay, so let's start with what is R. So where this R came from. So actually, the R language was built by two programmers from New Zealand. So from Auckland University, they wanted to create this open source coding language specifically focusing on statistical programming. Okay, so R was named by the Robert Gentleman and Ross Yaka. So they are the one who based this language on S language, and then they developed it in I guess in early 90s. But the official R as official, it was released in 2000. So this is specifically focused on your data analysis and visualization, and like very statistical and data science focused. And researchers across the globe use this. And the one thing about it is free, because there are other softwares available like SPSS and your MATLAB and all, but they are paid version. So not everyone can afford it. But with being R is a free and open source system, anyone can anyone can access it. Anyone can use it for their analysis and learn it. So learn why learn R? So R is in very highly in demand, particularly in data science and research. So everyone knows, every scientific paper you go and read, there will be like people using R. It because it's an open source software, lot of contributors. So there are lot of packages out there. So almost more than 21,000 R packages out there if you want to, and it has vast uh, utilization. So it has a very good community support as well. So you can learn anytime. Once you know the basic, you can easily build upon it. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of you people might be having a bit of, that apprehensive apprehension that it's a coding thing. But if you know the basic, if you understand the foundation, it's very easy to build up. And then there is a lot of support out there. If you can just, go on, there is your Google it, help is always available. And there are a lot of, videos and workshops there that can help you to learn it. So in real life, data scientists, researchers, we use it to analyze. A company might use it to analyze market trends for their business decisions. There are people, well, like there are researchers who use it to analyze their own data. People use it for GIS, RS application. So there are vast uses of this language. So first, let me start with, there are three important things that we need. That we need to know the code, the basic code, which the code is written in R scripts, which is .r file. And then we run the code line by line. And then we have a console. So we have R, the basic, the original one, and then there are third party, which is RStudio, which is much more user friendly. So I will show you RStudio today. So there are few very important terms that you need to understand to know to know how to code. So first, that is, you have variables, okay, and function in R. So all codes, that's the basic unit. So what are variables? These variables where you store the information. Okay, so you generally assign values to these variables, and then you can print out those variable and type the variable name, right? And these variables can store different type of data. We'll go into in-depth different type of data types and other eventually. So there are few things when you are working with variables. You need to make sure that it should be descriptive and start with a letter. It generally shouldn't start with a number. So, for example, age, score, and don't avoid using any special characters like at or a dollar sign or something. So don't use that. Keep it simple, because you have to use it multiple times in your code. Then you have variables, and then you have functions. So functions are just a mathematical uh, that you use it to perform a specific task. Like it's a block of code. So there is a uh, input or the argument, and then you process it through the function, and then it returns an output. So you have a variable, you are assigning a function to it, and it's returning an output. So there are a lot of inbuilt functions are there, and there are the 21,000 the packages are there. They have their specific functions that you can use to create, to do your own analysis. And you can even create your own function in case you don't find any inbuilt functions already. So you can use the function to for any specific task that you want to do in your project. So there are different main thing about variable and function is variable holds data and functions perform the task. There is another part is the syntax and arguments. So the key element to understand how to write and use functions to know what are syntax and to know what are arguments. So syntax refers to the rules and structure of how code must be written in R. So every language will have different syntax. It's like the language structure. It's like a grammar. So like you have Hindi has a different grammar, and English has a different grammar. Same like different language will have different syntax. So R has a particular rule and structure. You will have Java will have a particular rule and structure. So it's like a grammar. So you need to learn this grammar like any other languages. You have to learn the grammar. So for example, over here, if you can see X, I'm assigning X is the variable and I'm assigning 5. So correct syntax for assigning a value to a variable is the greater than slash mark. So correct print X is the correct syntax for calling the print function. So there are different syntax like that. And here the next is the argument. So arguments are the input. So for example, in here, the 5 is the argument. So when you specify the data, so any values, any data that you have that you are assigning to a variable, then those data are the arguments. So arguments equal to data or the values. So for example, your numbers is the variable and C is the syntax. The whole, this is the syntax, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number are the arguments. So some here further there are some examples like sum over here is called with the correct syntax with parenthesis around the number. An argument, number is the argument passed to sum to tell us what to add. So there are different data types. Like whenever you are doing any kind of statistical analysis and all, you need to understand what are the data types are. So you have your numeric or number data types that's easy to understand. In numeric, you have floats. Floats are generally like 2.5. Anything which are continuous variables are called floats. You have integers and you have floats. Then you have characters. That is the string, characters or string. So those are text value and they should always be put within the double comma. Then you have logical or factor. So logical are true or false or boolean. And factors are categorical data like male, female. Then you have data structure. So data structure is there are different data structures. So when data types are stored in a variable in R, it can be stored as a data structure. This data structure can be of vectors type, list type, matrix, data frame, and factor. So let's go one by one. What is vector? So vector is just a simple single line of any element. It can be either is generally one dimensional, and it can be just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. It's a numeric vector. It's just a single line. So it's a sequence of element of the same data type. It's a very basic data structure. Then you have a matrix. So you have to is a two-dimensional structure. When you have columns and rows, then it becomes, but it is 2D. It can't be more than two-dimensional. Then you have an array. So generally arrays are three-dimensional. But in array, all must be of same data type. Like in array, if it is numerical, it has to be numerical. It can't be a character data type. So the Excel table that we use are called data frame. They are two-dimensional in structure, but you can use multiple or different type of data types in it. Like in array, it has to be of the same data types, but in data frame, you can add different types of data types in and add as much as columns, as much as rows you want. So then you have a list. So list of name contain, you can have a list which is in the same, like unlike a vector, in a list you can have multiple data types in a single row. And then a factor, as I said, factor has a more categorical, like male, female, true and false. So if you want to have a more Boolean or Boolean or a category. So when you are learning, these are the very basic terms that you need to understand. So variables and functions, syntax and arguments, data type and data structure. This is like the most basic foundation of a language. So I want you to tell me if you have understood till now. Like any questions? Do you have any questions?
If you want to ask a question on audio, please react or like put your hands up, or you can always ask the question on chat. Either works.
Yes. So arguments are the value
Shruti,
or data. Yeah.
would you want to take a question now? I
So I'm
think like
already answering one question in the chat. So if you could,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
Ayushi asked if you could
great.
explain argument one more time. So uh, generally, argument is the data or the value you are putting in. Okay. So for example, you have variables, that is the columns. In columns, you have, for example, age. Okay, age is the variable name. But when you put age like 15, 16, 17, so that is an argument. What is factor data structure? So factor data structure is generally when you have only uh, categorical data, like you have male or female. Okay, for example, you have vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Uh, which, okay, is there any specific, someone wants to see the presentation again? Anyway, you don't have to worry much about it because I'll be sharing the presentation anyway. So, can you see the chat and see who someone wants. Please, can you show presentation again? Apana, which particular slide you want to see?
Shambhavi had a question. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Actually, I wanted to ask. I have
Yes.
read about, like, I have studied C++ and C language. So,
Okay.
right till now, I have like the language R and the C and C++ are very. I find it like very common. So, it
Okay.
is like very common, or it is like both are very different.
No, no, it's based on C, C++. So it was based
Yes.
on C, C++, then S was developed from C, C++, then R was developed from S. So
Oh, okay.
main core, that's why there are a lot of similarities. So all those languages very similar. Even so that's what when you learn one coding language, you'll be able to understand lot of other coding language as well because the basic structure is very similar. So if you know
Okay,
C,
okay.
C++,
Thank you, ma'am.
so you will be easily be able to understand R as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Also, Shruti, I think one of the participants wanted you to go a little slower.
All right. All right.
Mm.
Okay. Any other question? I don't see any other question. Okay. So let me. Okay. So I will now show you from the very beginning, like how to download, from where to download. Okay. Let me just share this. If you guys, do you already have this downloaded or like what is it?
Maybe like a quick show of hands
All right.
for the people who have downloaded it.
All right. So you can just go here. Yeah. Can you see the web page?
Yes, Shruti.
Yeah. So here you have to go down. First, you have to download and install R. Okay. Once you have done that, then you have to download RStudio desktop. So this has to be download the R core R has to be downloaded already. So once you download, like done with downloading, you can just click here. Okay. So you have here download R for Windows. So you can just go there. Okay. And here install R for the first time. You just have to go click and install regular. Like how do you install any software? Then you can go to once R is installed, then download RStudio desktop for Windows. And see, you can just save it to your computer and just start the installation. It's just a regular exe file and you can just do that. Let me know once you have downloaded. So the any version is fine. Latest version be good because then you can use all the latest packages as well. And the difference between R and RStudio is R is the open source one, and RStudio is also open source, but it is made by a third party. So it is more interactive.
And to add on, our studio is just a prettier user
Prettier
interface
version,
and it
yes,
makes life easier.
yes. Downloading and install. You have to install R. Once you're done, okay, yes, yeah. Download R for Windows. Install R for the first time. Here, 4.442 for in Windows. The applications, yeah, download and then just install it. Once that installation is done, don't no need to open it. You can directly go and then download and install RStudio. So download RStudio desktop for Windows. This one, second one. First install R, then install RStudio. Yeah, and RStudio just looks better. There are a lot of inbuilt. It's like you know the difference between uh, what do you call a C++, like if you use a command prompt versus you use a C++ or Python already third person software. So it's like a GUI.
Yeah, that was essentially what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So once you have installed RStudio, just open it.
Shruti, I think the one Shambhavi is had a question.
What is it?
She says that the installer and the tar is not opening.
Which one you have installed? So you just have to go to download and install R. Okay, let me again show you.
Ma'am, actually,
Yeah.
like on yours, that say install RStudio. On my it's showing all installers and tarballs, and when I'm clicking it, it is not opening. I've
Uh,
installed and downloaded R, but on installing RStudio, it is not
yeah.
opening.
Can you just close it and again reopen the link and see what it is saying?
Okay, ma'am.
So when you click on download RStudio desktop for Windows,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
should directly start downloading RStudio. They show.
Ma'am, it is downloaded, but in like for clicking again on downloading our studio, that link is not opening.
This install RStudio, second link.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Then reopen the web page and try again.
Okay, ma'am.
Close your browser and then try again. Are you able to download the application RStudio?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just try, close your browser and then try again.
Also, sometimes if you don't have R already installed, you can't install RStudio, and like compatibility issues will also happen. Yeah,
Uh,
based on your versions.
yeah, and not needed. Actually, if you have 4.4.1, 4.4.2, there's not much of a version difference. So it's fine. You don't have to download it again. Correct. So let me share my screen again. Yeah, can you see now the RStudio?
Yep.
All right. So once you reach this one, I'm not able to see the chats or anything right now. So once I'm sharing, so maybe you can see if any messages are there, and if they want me to, repeat something,
Done, done.
just let me know. Okay. Yeah. So once you start this, the very first thing you can do is go to session and set working directly, and then choose directory. What happens is that you you should have a folder already in your computer where you have all the data and everything. So in that way, it will be easy for you to access and store information.
Shruti,
Hmm?
if possible, a little bit slower too.
Okay, all right. So you
Um,
can just go to session, then go to set working directory, then choose directory, and go to wherever you want to, or you have the directory. Like for me, I have it here. So I have to click that directory and open. Okay. You can also do it set WD, set working directory. So basically you're assigning the folder. Okay. You can go to view and go to pane, then go to pane layout. All right. And then go to appearance. You can change it. You can change the font. You can change the font size. Okay. I'm keeping it at 11. And then you can change whatever you want to. So generally it will be like, and just okay, and it depends on your. Now you can go to file, then open file. Because I have already assigned the directory, it's very easy for me to just go and open the script file, which is .r file. So here, see day1.r, that's the script file. Okay. So let me tell you about this, like what we are seeing over here. So here in the first window, this is the first pane, and this pane is for writing any codes and storing your script. So generally, you will store and save all your code in the script file. And then you have this console. The console is basically where you can see the output. And then you have your environment, where you can see the variables and all the information. And then over here, you have different, like what files you have, plots, whatever plots you will be creating, you can see it here. Packages, whatever packages is there. If you need any help, you can go to help and check. Then you have a viewer and other stuff. So now, see, because we are using RStudio, we have this freedom to just go to sessions and set working directory, which in R you won't be able to do that. You have to then use get WD. Okay. So now let's start with this. So X is the variable and you are assigning 3. Okay. So you have to go control and enter. When you put control and enter, it's running the code. You can also go here and run the code, run the current line, or you can just select it and then go over here and run, or just do control enter. Okay. Now I have created 2 variables, x and y. One is 3 and one 3.5. Both are numbers, numerical data types. 3.5 is float because float is more like a continuous data. Okay. Then I have a variable called name, and then I have in that name I have put Shruti. You can put anything. So here it's a string. So you have to always put string in double quote. Okay. So now there is a difference. So you can either use equal to or sign and dash. Okay. Now to see, if you want to see the variable, you can just say print x. So print x over here, if you see the console is showing the value or the argument over here. Then print y is showing the value. So in print and bracket is a function or the syntax. X is the argument. Okay, so print is the syntax, y is the argument. Then print name is printing the name. Now I've told you different type of data containers or data structure. So let's go one by one, like vector. They are the simple, which are like just a row of same element, right? So like over here, it's Z. Z is the variable name, and I am putting this vector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now if I print Z, it will showing the values. Same car name. Okay. Now print car name is showing the car name. All right. You can stop me anytime if you are confused or somewhere. Okay. So now you have, I want to see what is the first one, first position. So I can just write the variable name and then square bracket, we can mention 1. See, it's now showing Honda because car name first position is Honda. Then you can use same print. It will give the same result. Then you have, if you want to see all, so 1 colon 2. So that will give everything between first to 2. Okay? Honda and Kia. Those were the first and second. If you want to put individual, then you have to put comma. Okay? First is Honda and third is BMW. You can change it to 3 here, and then see, it's now showing Honda, Kia, BMW, all 3. Okay. Now, how to combine? Like, you have different vectors. Vector 1, vector 2, vector 3. Okay. Now, I want to combine all these vector, like join this 3 1. Now, print the variable, and now see, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 all is in together. Now, like that, you can add, you can multiply. Okay? It's adding. Now you want to create a list. As I said, list can be of one same different element. It doesn't, like in vector, it only has to be of same element. In list, it can be of different element. Let's create a first list. Then again, we are adding more information in the list. So true is the Boolean, like true or false is the Boolean. Now you want to see it's the same, like above whenever there is a square bracket, that means we are mentioning the position. So first is showing the position of the first value. And is now showing the position of the second value, right? That is ABC. So there is other way. So like when we have big data, when we have huge tables like with multiple rows, multiple columns, you can just use str, that is structure. You can just put str and the name of the table or the variable, and it will show you the general structure of the whatever that you wanted to the variable. So it has first C, the list of 4 is showing a summary giving
Shruti,
the, so it's, yeah,
Shruti, I
yeah,
think you might be going a little too fast.
little fast. Okay. Where should I like okay, now ask me any questions till now by list, till list. If you have any question, ask me.
Again, you can either ask it on chat or feel free to raise your hand and I can unmute you.
So you will get the script and all to practice. You don't have to worry about it. You will get the video, you will get the PPT, and you will get the script file as well.
Shruti, there's a question on how do we put the variables?
Oh, so generally, so this is the sign, either equal to or this one. Okay, so this is how you assign. This is an assign function. Okay, so for example, x is a variable over here. and then you are adding 3, the value to x. So whenever you print x, it will show the value 3. Understood? So basic, generally either it's equal to or greater than dash, but it generally this one is more preferred than equal to, because equal to has other uses. So not to just confuse with during the code, because this is the like this is a very simple one. When you have lines of codes, like when you are writing a very complex code for complex analysis, you will be have multiple lines of codes, right? So then it's good to use some standard way, so that it's easier to identify if there are some error or bugs in it. Okay, any more questions?
There was another question from Aparna. How do we know when to add the double dots or comma?
Yeah, so double dots when you want to find a range. So here, like car name, I'm putting double dots to know the range. So it can be 1 to 3. If your variables have 10 numbers, so then you can put 1 to 10 in it. So it's a range. When you want individual values, then you can put comma. So here I'm only want to know what's in the first position and what's in the third position, right? I don't want to know what is in the second position. So I didn't put second in it. Okay. Any other?
Another question was 1 minute. I'll scroll down. Also, when to put the circular brackets and when to put the square brackets was another question from Ayushi.
Yeah. So generally you will put the circular bracket. The square one generally when you are mentioning a particular position. Okay, when it is very specific thing that you want to mention, then you have to put position. Like here, you're putting square bracket to tell them what position it is. Okay, but in the larger one, first bracket, second bracket. So first bracket will always be the circular, and then second bracket will be the square bracket.
Another way to think about it is that the circular brackets are usually associated with functions. So C is sort of a function, if I'm not wrong, and print again is a function.
Yeah.
But the square brackets is when you're trying to assign value, not assign values, when you're trying to get an array of
Particular
things.
position. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. There was also another question from Aditya. For putting a name, do we always need to put double inverted commas?
Yes, if you want it to not change, like uh, as it is. So for here, first list ABC. I wanted to ABC. It has to be always in a double inverted. Okay, you can't. It can't be. Otherwise, it won't take it. There will be an error. Anything else? When you're putting a name, it's any string. Any string, it's always be double inverted. Any more questions?
I don't see any other questions right now.
All
If
right.
you have any other questions, please put it on the chat or just raise your hand.
All right. So I will just continue. Okay. So now STR is a structure. Okay. I'll show you in more details later as well. So don't worry about that. So these are all inbuilt functions. So there are like a lot of inbuilt functions in R. So you can just find those. You can just go to help and you can find those. Okay, so you have str is for the structure. You want to see the length. So showing length of this list is 4. See, this is 1, ABC 1.23 and true. So this is showing the length of the list. Okay, so like that is one data structure. Then you have matrix. Okay. So how to create a matrix? So M is the matrix name. Okay. Then you have the function matrix, and 1:6 is the dimension, and then number of rows I'm putting and number of column I'm putting. Then if you want to see, it will show number of column and number of rows. Now you are adding the row name. Okay, you added the row name R1 and R2. See, whenever you are assigning the name, it's always on double inverted. And it's print. Here you can see they have changed the row 1, row 2. Okay, you have added. Then column name. Then now see they have, now you can see the column name and row name as well. Alright. So now the same thing, when you are using a square bracket, you can determine the position. Here you can see it's showing the first column and first row, second column. So first is the row and second is the column. So when you type M1, it's taking this row 1 and then giving the value C2, column 2, that is 3. Okay, so you can similarly, if you change 2 to 3, it will give you the first row, third column value. Like that, when you put first position, but you don't keep the other one blank, then it will show the whole row. Okay, so showing the whole first row. You can change it to second. It will show you the second row. Like that, you can keep the first row blank, the row number blank, and then now it is showing all the value of first column. Now, if you want to add or replace any number, okay, so the function for syntax for that is M row number 1. You have to mention which row, which column, and then whatever number you want to put. Now print M. See, it has replaced the number. This is like, I just wanted to give you like very simple way to see how it works. Later on, we'll explore the data set. I mean, when we think about R and doing analysis and all, we'll have our own data collected or we'll have data from different sources. And then we'll use this to do or perform certain analysis. Okay, so this is just to know what are the, as I said, the data structures and all, which are the basic stuff. Okay. What is the time now?
It's 4:06.
Okay. So it's the same, like you can just practice those. I will give you this. You can practice those things. You can find lot of codes around there. Let's just explore the already inbuilt data set in R. So there are already stored data sets. We can just use data and find out. So see, there are air passengers. So these are very old data sets that are like already available and is open source, so anyone can use if you want to explore some inbuilt functions. Okay. So I think I'm using world phone data sets. We can explore other data sets as well. So let's start with the world phone. So first, let this question mark. If you want to take any help, okay, and see the details. So the document, documentation of what is this world. Mhm. So the world telephone. So there is a description, all the details are there, references are there. Okay. So you can read the number of telephone in various regions of the world in thousands. So similarly like that. So now if you want to view the data set, you can just do print world phone and you will have a quick view of the data sets. So you can see over here you have columns like North America, Europe, Asia, South America, and then in different years. And then you have number of telephones in those continents. Okay. You have South America, Oceania, Africa, Mid America, I think that is. So now print. Then you have structure. You want to see what is the structure. So this is a way to explore the data set. So you have a data set, or you are exploring a complete new data set. So you can just do like go through this to see what are the structure. So here it will show how many numbers are there. Okay. Then you have how many characters are there. Right? It's showing the whole structure of them. Now dimension. It's showing there are 7 columns and 7 rows. 7, 7. Now if this is like very short data, like very small data set. If you have really big data and you want to quickly see what is the column and what's the like first few lines of data is there, you can just go for head and then head. So this is showing the first 6 values. Okay, first 6 rows. And then you have tail that will show last 6 rows. Okay. And for example, you are working and you forgotten all the columns that it has. You can just put for column names and it will give all the column names available in the data. So now let's do a mean. Mean is already an inbuilt function. See, it's showing the world mean number of telephone. Okay. This other way to, so this is like a descriptive statistics. We are just exploring the data set. So just put a summary. So summary will give a summary statistic. So if you oversee here, okay. So here you will see you have different column, North America, Europe, Asia, South America, and they are giving you the minimum number, the first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, and maximum. So this is the basic summary statistics they are giving you. Okay. So like that, you can just see there are multiple data sets over here. And you can just see for example, let's do Titanic and see what it is. Let's explore this one. Okay. I'm replacing the name, data frame name. This is survival of passengers on Titanic. Okay. So now I want to see what it is there. So just this is just showing what you have: child, survival. Okay. Then structure is giving you the structure of what you whether class has age, survived or not. Okay. Then dimension. 4, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Number of rows, how many? 4. Now number of columns, 2. Let's see head. So showing the, so these data sets has multiple small tables. Oh, male and female. Let's do a summary. Next. Number of cases in table, total cases are 2201. Number of factors, 4. Okay, so they have given a summary statistics with chi-square because the child survived or not. Okay, let me see if we can. So these like that you can explore different data sets here. Okay, tomorrow I will show you how to upload your own data sets, how to explore the data sets, do summary statistics, and create some plots out of that. So let me, yeah. Any question?
There were a bunch of questions. I didn't
Hmm.
want to disrupt your
Yeah,
flow,
yeah,
so I was
yeah.
trying to answer them. But
Hmm.
feel free to look at them again, and
Let me just,
perhaps you'll
yeah,
definitely have a lot more to say about them than me.
yeah. Okay. Mm, where did I get the, okay, so you have already answered those. Any other questions? I think the chat's questions are already answered. Anything else?
I think there was a question about where do you get your inbuilt data sets? Maybe I think what
Okay,
Aparna means is how
so
do you load them, if I'm not
yeah.
wrong?
So when you install R, it's already has data set in it. So basically when you open R, okay, so these are data sets. You have to do this call. You have to call those. Okay. So when you do data and use this function, it's opening the list of all the data sets that are available freely for you to use. These are all inbuilt. So you have names of those data sets like air passengers, BOD, right? Insect sprays, life cycle savings. So these are different sorts of data sets that are available. And then you can use any of this and explore. Okay, got it? Anything else? Any other question? Yeah, I think someone has raised a hand.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah,
So, ma'am, I have done it the same way. Like I have typed data and I have like placed those bracket, and
yeah,
upon clicking Control Enter, I have received a list of data packages that are already available. So, how
data,
do
yes.
I further yes, how do I further explore this? Like, what do I need to type
Yeah, so where
in
you
order?
have, okay, so after that, let me go back to the, yeah. So the code, after that, you can put a, see, if you want any help, okay, in the data set, you can just put a question mark and then you can put the name of the data set it will show this documentation and the details of that data. What is the description is there, what is the format there, and the whole detail where it is sourced from. Okay, got it? Then you can print the name of the data set. It will give you the data set. You explore using structure, dimension, head, tail, column names. These are the functions that will show you the details of the data set.
I think if you're done with the content you want for today, the floor is open for questions.
Yes, R is particular with the capital or the small. There are other languages where you can freely interchange between capital and small, but R is very particular. So whenever you are assigning a variable or calling a function, you make sure that you are using the correct one, correct syntax. Any more questions? Like you have understood, like now what are the basic you need, what are the basic need, and how to start off with R. So tomorrow I will show how to uh, upload your data sets, and then I will show you there's two options. Either I can share the data sets that I'm going to use tomorrow, or if you already have a data set, you can use that. So what do you want to do? You want to try your own data sets, or you want to use the data sets that I'm going to use it? All right, let me just share the data set anyway. Maybe you can send an email or something. So let once. Hmm, yeah. Uh, so this is a link, and it has lot of data sets. Open source, freely downloadable data sets. So you can download any data sets from there. I'm using the car 90 data set. You can just download the car 90 data set. Download car 90. Yeah, Kaggle is also there. Okay, and download and save the data sets in the working directory. All right. If there is no other question, we can just conclude the session for today.
Yeah, thanks again, Shruti, for a very beautiful and well-paced talk and for answering all of our questions. Yeah, so again, like you will have more of Shruti explaining our tomorrow too, so don't forget to come join us again at the same time tomorrow. I think there was some issue with the links. We'll be sending the materials, both the code and the presentation along with the new link for tomorrow. And yeah, feel free to join it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll
Thank you,
definitely
May.
send scripts and codes. Anything to add, Shruti?
Uh, the feedback form that's going to like you are going to share it with them tomorrow, isn't it?
Yep. So we'll be sending a feedback form for tomorrow. So please let us know any problems you had or anything you liked. Uh, Either would help us a lot.
Yeah, and like any suggestions or anything. Yeah,
Yeah. If there's something you want to learn more about,
yeah.
or if there's a speaker you want to hear more from, or a particular area that you are in and want to know how our would work there, do drop us a mail, and we'll do our best in figuring out something that will work for a lot of the participants.
All right, then we will.
I don't know if I was audible, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are, you are.
You were saying, Shruti.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, if you guys want to, like, have any queries post the workshop and sessions, you can just email to our ladies, and you can mention my name there. Okay, I will try to. The pace is too fast for a beginner like me. Okay, I will try to be more slow, like tomorrow, and see. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Aditya. Yeah, so just send an email to our ladies, and then put the name, and I'll try to address those queries. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
If if that's it, thanks again for participating so enthusiastically and having a lot of questions, which is always fun to see in an online meeting. And we hope that we have the same enthusiasm tomorrow. And thank you again for joining us. Yeah. You may leave the meeting, or if we could always take a picture too. Uh, yeah.
You want
If
to? Okay.
I could stress upon everyone switching on their cameras for a moment. Yeah. A few more people, and then like we can take a photo. Shruti, do you want to take the screenshot? Or
You want me to take the screenshot? Okay.
I think like if we have a minute more, the rest of the people will also show up.
All right.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay, I think that's about it that we'll have on screen
All right.
for today.